Hey everyone, welcome to The New Populist. I'm Dave Brown. If you're new to this channel, please like and subscribe. So earlier today, I'm watching Tucker Carlson, and he's doing his opening monologue about a woman named Rachel Rollins. Now, Rachel Rollins was just confirmed to be the next U.S. attorney for Massachusetts. Just one problem. Apparently, she is radical, angry, and a nut job. Apparently she had police lights on her vehicle and she pulled somebody over that she was pissed at, which of course is impersonating a police officer, which is a crime. And later when she was confronted by a reporter, she freaked out, started making threats, made it racial. Now she's one of these people that I can't stand, which is every time they're in any sort of confrontation, and she's a biracial woman, they immediately make it about race if the other person is white. It drives me crazy. So every time they get into their sort of backed into a corner, they immediately pull that race card and always playing that victim, even when they're not the victim. Now, Tucker Carlson was bringing up the issue of how do we have somebody who's going to defend our laws and our system when they're seemingly a racist and don't necessarily believe in a color-blind society. Check out what he says here.
What we do know is that it is completely unacceptable to have a racist working as a federal prosecutor in this country. If you think race is a moral category, and Rachel Rollins does think that, you should be nowhere near our justice system. Justice is colorblind. Justice must be colorblind, or else it's not justice, it's just vengeance. Every American citizen has a fundamental right to be judged equally under the laws of the United States, regardless of what they look like, period. DNA can play no role in our justice system. That's the whole point of our country. It's the most important thing that we have. So by definition, Rachel Rollins should be disqualified immediately from administering our laws. Rollins sees race first. She's a racist. So she can't be fair. This is all very obvious, or should be obvious, always has been obvious. Yet amazingly, thanks to the principles of equity, Rachel Rollins has just been promoted. This week, the United States Senate confirmed that woman as the new U.S. attorney in the state of Massachusetts. That means Rollins is now in charge of enforcing all federal laws in a state of nearly 7 million people. No Republicans supported her. She got through in a 50-50 vote. Kamala Harris, of course, broke the tie.
So the question is, why do we have people in our system who do not necessarily believe in a colorblind society and who have viewpoints that are so steeped in racism or racialism? And if you see my previous videos on critical race theory, you would know the answer. But I always like to sort of reiterate what exactly critical race theorists believe, because if we actually see what they believe, their behavior makes sense. So consider these two excerpts from the book Critical Race Theory, written by Richard Delgado. And I've talked about this book before. I've done extensive videos on it. But there's two sections that I want to repeat again. Just keep on drilling in so the people out there know what critical race theory is saying. And if you're a liberal, if you consider yourself a liberal, then critical race theory does not agree with you. Critical race theory attacks liberalism. And I don't think enough liberals actually realize that. They think that critical race theory is just about improving civil rights. No, it is much more radical than that. Consider these next two excerpts right here. As mentioned in chapter 1, critical race scholars are discontent with liberalism as a framework for addressing America's racial problems. Many liberals believe in colorblindness and neutral principles of constitutional law. So spelled out right there, they are discontent with liberalism. If you are a liberal, critical race theorists are discontent with you. Now, in the media, when they talk about critical race theory, they don't want to scare off liberals because liberals generally are on their side. So they sort of camouflage what critical race theory is. But here you have it right here in the book, Critical Race Theory, an introduction by Richard Delgado, a founding father of critical race theory, saying we are rejecting liberalism. Here is the next expert. An even more extreme version of colorblindness seen in certain Supreme Court opinions today holds that it is wrong for the law to take any note of race, even to remedy a historical wrong. Critical race theorists, or crits as they are sometimes called, hold that colorblindness will allow us to redress only extremely egregious racial harms, ones that everyone would notice and condemn. But if racism is embedded in our thought processes and social structures as deeply as many crits believe, then the ordinary business of society, the routines, practices, institutions that we rely on to affect the world's work will keep minorities in subordinate positions. Only aggressive, color-conscious efforts to change the way things are will do much to ameliorate misery. So, liberalism, the system that you think you believe in, and you think that the left is supporting, here critical race theorists are saying if we leave the system in place, it will keep minorities in a subordinate position. Never mind that we had a president who's black, and right now our vice president is black, and this lady who is also, well, she's biracial but considered black, is the new U.S. attorney in Massachusetts. So all over the place, people of color are advancing, yet according to critical race theories, minorities will be kept in a subordinate position under liberalism. Well, it seems to me that it's working pretty well, but to critical race theorists, it's not working well enough. And for people like Rachel Rollins, this is why they're so racist and so radicalized. Critical race theory has a foundation in law, and I can guarantee you when she was in law school, she was a student of critical race theory, which will explain her radicalism or her radical behavior and her general sort of racial look on society where everything boils down to race, which again is so annoying. One last thing, she was confirmed 50-50 by the U.S. Senate. People like to say that Joe Manchin is on our side, that he's a moderate and a decent senator. I disagree. Every once in a while, he does the right thing, but he joined in with the left and confirmed this nut job to be the U.S. attorney for Massachusetts. So let's stop giving so much kudos to Joe Manchin. I'm not a fan, and just because he gets it right once in a while doesn't make him a good senator or a good guy for this country. He is not. So, well, that's it for now. Again, if you want to see more extensive videos on critical race theory, I will have links in the description. Critical race theory is not benign. It's not about improving civil rights. It is a radical movement looking to reshape this entire country and turn its foundations on its head. So that's what critical race theory is, and that's what it's trying to do right now, unless we stop it. Have a good night. I'll see you next time.